everyone, welcome back to another episode of Chris's Cool Things and Other Neat Stuff. Again, I am Chris, and today I thought I'd do a little bit something different. Past few videos I've uploaded have been about my truck and various things I've done to my truck. So wanted to add a little bit of diversity to the channel. I've always said this is going to be a channel about everything that I'm involved in. One of those things is artwork, so I thought what I would do is I'd grab one of my sketchbooks, probably my favorite sketchbook, and just take a few minutes to review some of the artwork. So I do have to say, out of all the sketchbooks I've acquired or filled in throughout the years, this one is probably my favorite. Probably at the peak of my artistic abilities. And I think it's unfortunate because, as you see, not to gloat, but I think I was getting pretty good. And if I just kept on going, I think I'd be so much further along than I am right now. But honestly, I kind of took like a 10-year hiatus from drawing, and I get to really relearn everything. So this book is, I want to say, late 90s, early 2000s. You can see it's definitely taking a beating. So let's go ahead and just get on right into it. I'm just going to block that because that's some personal contact information. Somebody I don't know hang out with anymore, but I don't want I don't want his phone numbers to fall into anybody else's hands. But anyhow, this particular character right here, anybody who is into drawing, into comic books, I imagine at some point in their life they tried to create themselves as a superhero. This is one of my characters that I've been drawing for years, and this is one of his later iterations. I know my little brother grabbed my sketchbook and kind of colored Admiral Akbar right there. This was just a random barbarian type warrior. I liked how the headset was coming out. Like the shadowing I got going on in his face. And then a common motif for me is I got distracted and went on to something else. You'll see that from time to time in this book. Okay, here we have another warrior. Didn't get past the pencils on this guy, didn't even finish the pencils. Actually, you know what? Looking at his head gear, it's probably just a different version of that guy. They get the similar horns. I think this guy on the previous page was going to turn out much better. It just looked scarier, but you'll see again, common motif, Book of Incomplete Thoughts. That was going to be a dragon. Didn't get too far. Not really too much to discuss. Oh, this is one of my best works. This is a snowman in a blizzard. It's another dragon who definitely has a bad attitude. Should censor that one, otherwise I'll be demonetized. All right, so this is my my personal character. Again, I tried changing his hair color up a little bit, brown instead of black. Looked a little bit too much like, I don't know. I didn't care for the look. Definitely liked him with darker hair. And this was going to be a different version of him. Again, didn't finish. He had special energy powers, and I believe this was going to be him just kind of like shooting his energy straight up into the air in a fit of rage. His name is Mad Rage, by the way. Yeah, and here he is again. I labeled this version 5, so he has different versions. You know, if I keep on doing the series, you'll see him throughout my sketchbooks. Prefer to show you the least embarrassing one first, because some of them get pretty bad. So I just practicing different facial expressions, working with his hair a little bit instead of having it all black and putting some red streaks in there. Give him a goatee with a red streak. Kind of ridiculous now that I look at it. like the red glowing eyes. And see right here, it's like I have the black, I have the brown, and I definitely prefer the black. Again, incomplete thought of Mad Rage. Here's another Mad Rage. This I actually kind of flesh out his uniform a little bit more, and I kind of like how this one was coming out. This was, at this time, I had progressed from being a superhero version of myself, where now I was starting to go into like intergalactic conflict, piloting robots, spaceships, things of that nature. Yeah, my character has been through a bunch. Again, that goatee's look a little funny with that red streak. And then this was going to be a member of his team. So if this is me, this is one of my friends growing up. When we started, he just had a robotic forearm and hand, and it's since progressed to full arm and then 2 arms. And you can see I was going to do something with his legs, but that's as far as that one got. For a comic book story I was working on, this was the beginning of a design for the characters. This is another character of mine. I liked how the armor was coming out. I believe his name was Killshot. The name really doesn't fit in with the story I was going to give him. I liked the golden armor. Suit a little bit too much. Reminds me of like Deadpool, Spawn. I mean, it was. I was heavily influenced of the comic books at the time. The blue hair made sense at the time because he got it from his mother. I don't know, and I really, when it came to drawing my or coming up with my comic book stories, I never was able to flush out an entire story. I did sketches. I had, ideas, moments in time, but nothing actually connected together. Another incomplete work. Again, this is Killshot. Like the armor, but the main jumpsuit part of him too much like Deadpool, Spawn, other characters of that time frame. I don't know if any of these pictures show it, but you can kind of see right here. Also kind of like pulling in a little bit from Terminator 2, Liquid Metal, and a little bit from Wolverine too. His skeleton's not infused with metal, but he has liquid metal coursing throughout his system, and he was able to form like blades right through his forearms and various parts of his body. This one I liked. Fully rendered picture. A little composition a little bit off because it's a little bit too empty up here. But there's Mad Rage. This was going to be the alien race. There's Killshot. And this was going to be, it was like warring planets, warring factions. Obviously the mechanical guys, they're the bad guys. The ones with the really smooth and glistening armor, they were the good people. And she was a princess, supposed to be his mother. She changes quite a bit throughout the course of time as well, and you'll see that in a couple of pages. Because here she's blue. And here she's starting to be white. I'm even whitewashing my own comics here. Here's another picture of, or starting to be a picture of Mad Rage. Lost the streak in his goatee. Gave him a haircut. Yeah, I kind of think at that time frame people were starting to move away from the long hair. I thought maybe I should try it too. Although for me the long hair is kind of iconic for the character. There he is again. Fit of rage. Throwing his arms up. Mad. Energy shooting out of his eyes. I had a better, I was pretty good with the anatomy back in the day, knowing how the muscles worked, proportions, things of that nature. I definitely feel like I've lost that over time, and I hope to get back to that. Here he is again, short hair, action pose. Line work, definitely not my strong point. I mean, everything's a single line weight. I've got some hatching at certain parts, but these pictures definitely benefit from color. Don't know who this is, just a random guy. Got some nice shading going on, just some pencil work there. This one is inked, and he lost his pupils. All right, here is another fully rendered page. Now, I hope I rotate this correctly. I have the camera shooting upside down. All right, so here's Mad Rage. This time he ditched the goatee altogether. Still got the energy shooting of his eyes. This was going to be basically the leader of the alien, the evil alien race. Not really reptilian. It's just they live in a very hot environment, a lot of sun. Their skin dries out, gets cracked. It's supposed to be a little bit more along that line. Plus, being in that harsh environment, they rely on cybernetic implants quite a bit too. Ended up ditching the idea because I don't remember the comic, but a friend of mine very quietly, without saying a word, just threw a comic in front of my face. I had no idea why, but I started flipping through the pages, and then I noticed that the characters or aliens in that comic so closely resembled mine. It was like, there's no way I can continue with this character. I have to come up with something different. Another picture of the alien race trying to flesh out where all the mechanics go. And I was actually going to have, you can't really see it, but there's all these wires and cables shooting out of his back because similar to like Beast Machines where Megatron would hang from the rafters on all those wires, and then also similar to Star Trek First Contact with the Borg Queen, just comes down and she's just like a head and torso. His head was going to basically come down from the ceiling, go into the body, and then he would be able to detach and roam. Here's another picture of Killshot. Again, do like the armor. If I can pick this up again, I got to figure out something else with the jumpsuit. And here's what I was talking about, whitewashing my own characters. She kept the blue hair, but now she's white. I do like the pose. I like the colors. Again, all the line work is one line weight, but I think it came out pretty nice. Now, I love how this picture came out. A lot of detail. So, like I told you, my character had moved off into like intergalactic battles, piloting robots. So this is, imagine this is the robot hangar. Here is his robot, and he's just kind of like sitting on the robot's shoulder, just looking all kinds of menacing and, you know, brooding about the war. And also brooding about where his other sleeve went. And then once upon a time, I tried to invent my own Gundam. Didn't get that far at all. I got a fully rendered head. And you know, in my opinion, the colors look pretty nice on it, so I'm a little bit proud of that. And I think, yeah, I started trying to flesh out the body here. Didn't get too far before I got distracted. Oh, and this just notes. I had a dream once, and I woke up, and immediately I knew how to take some notes about the dream before I forgot about it. I'm guessing this somehow tied in, but I don't remember what it was. But this character definitely did. So the dream was, from what I can remember, it was some sort of out in space, maybe a similar environment to like Nowhere, where it's like a space station, and there's going to be this auction and bidding on like slaves and what have you. There was this robotic character, and she was up for auction, and she was like chained on like this floating pedestal. And so I tried to you know, capture as well as I could remember from the dream. I don't think I got it perfect because something doesn't sit well with me, but you know, as a character on her own, I thought she looks pretty cool. Although that robotic hair flowing, that wouldn't flow like that. All right, so this would be the scene from my dream where she's kind of like shackled, spotlight down on her. Don't have the pedestal, but yeah, this was pretty much what the vision was in my dream. And maybe I'll once I get back into gear, maybe I'll revisit this idea again, because I did like a lot of these designs. And this character, so you can definitely tell this was designed by a younger man, who thought that it made sense that the less a woman was wearing, the better of a warrior or superhero she would be. I liked how the hair came out. I liked how the suit was coming out too. I could do the picture justice by going in and just changing the leg color so she's actually wearing pants. Because this is a totally unrealistic outfit for any sort of warrior, unless you're Aeon Flux. Because if you watch Aeon Flux, she was basically wearing almost nothing. So that was just a weird 1990s reference for anybody who didn't understand what that was. But before she got all skimpy like that, this was going to be her design, going to be in that like barren wasteland environment. She was all covered up, and I just want to say I designed this years and years and years ago, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, this. I feel like this is Rey from Star Wars, this kind of outfit, and this, I could be wrong. I have to get a side-by-side picture, but now I'm looking at this eyepiece and I'm like, that's Nightfall from a Final Space. So I think people are going into the past, entering my mind and stealing my ideas. They owe me $5. Sorry if the video gets really jumpy. Like I said, I have a lot of incomplete thoughts and even blank pages for some reason. I just gonna edit those out. There's no reason to look at those. This was just I don't know. It's obviously supposed to be a character because she has some makeup going on here with the eyes. I think I really wanted to have her with the long flowing hair. I don't necessarily know if I wanted the hair to completely cover her body. I may have just got lazy or got tired of the picture and moved on. Maybe I'll come back to that one. Just a random guy. Now, this character, his name is Recklin. He's not my character, a friend of mine at the time. It was his character. And I just felt like I just wanted to, show him my interpretation of his character. I do have a finished version of him somewhere. Not in this one, though. And this would have been my character and my friend's character arm wrestling. All right, just a random head, practicing hair, practicing my my inking and plus my line work. But again, incomplete thought. Moved on to something else. This was going to be my friend's other character, so there was a much like Han Solo and Chewbacca. His characters was Recklin and Aves, and this was Aves. He was a robot. I hope you can see it because it's real light pencil work, so I'm hoping this is showing up in the video. Again, I believe this is Mad Rage, maybe? Although his face looks a little bit too thin for it. Practicing hair, just practicing facial structure. And also not necessarily the face is never really correct. I never really studied anatomy, facial expressions, things like that from real life. I learned from comics. So I got the books. I learned a lot of the stuff I know from a book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Then I just picked up from my favorite artists also. Jim Lee, a big influencer on my work. Rob Liefeld. I read not too much Todd McFarlane, but I did read his work. And Mark Silvestri, Willis Pertasio, those were all my favorites back in the day. Bagley, Larson, yeah, they're all some of my favorites. And maybe mainly Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld were my main influencers, but they all had a little hand in the shaped who I came out to be as an artist. So this was just going to be a clone trooper. Never finished. Probably would have came up. I like how the helmet came out, so that would have been nice. Boba Fett, I gave up on. It was just not sitting well with me. The pose is too heroic, where he has his hips thrust so far out. I'm like, yeah, I had to give up on that one, and I had done too much to erase it. This was going to be Raziel from Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, and I do have a nice picture of him elsewhere. Let's show you that guy's one in a different video. One of my favorite characters, by the way. It's going to be another. This one was not Boba Fett. This was just going to be a random Mandalorian. Random clone trooper. Oh, Mad Rage again. And just random woman. Random. Mad Rage. I gotta have some more finished work in here. Maybe not. That might be maybe about it. Oh, yeah, and I was also into designing Mad Rage as a Transformer. I do have other pictures of him I can show you in a different video. And that's that for that book. So there you have it. Not a lot of known characters in this book, if any. But I just wanted to show you the type of artwork that I was interested in. Like I had mentioned, I have taken quite a break from it, so I lost a lot of that muscle memory. I'm going to have to do a lot of relearning, but I hope to get there again soon and beyond. I know one of the guys that I like to follow is Popcross Studios. He has like a very cartoony, more simplified look, and I really like the way his drawing come out, so I think I want to try doing some of that as well. But I have more sketchbooks to go through, so this video is just one of many, and I know that a common trend is to take some of your older drawings and then redraw them, here years later, so I'll probably be partaking in that as well. But if you have any questions at all, please let me know. If you could hit that like button, I definitely appreciate it. And until next time, take care of yourself.